7-zip is an open-source file archiver, or an application used to compress files. 7-zip operates with a 7Z archive format, but can read and write several other archive formats. The program can be used from a command line interface, graphical user interface, or with a window-based shell integration. 7-zip began in 1999 and is developed by Igor Pavlov. The cross-platform version of the command line utility, P7-zip, is also available. 7-zip is open-source software. Most of the source code is under the GNU-GPL license. The UNRAR code is under a mixed license, GNU-GPL plus UNRAR restrictions. Formats: 7Z. By default, 7-zip creates 7Z format archives with a .7Z file extension. Each archive can contain multiple directories and files. As a container format, security or size reduction are achieved using a stacked combination of filters. These can consist of preprocessors, compression algorithms, and encryption filters. The core .7Z compression uses a variety of algorithms, the most common of which are BZIP2, LZMA2, and LZMA. Developed by Pavlov, LZMA is a relatively new system, making its debut as part of the 7Z format. LZMA consists of a large LZ-based sliding dictionary up to 4 GB in size, backed by a range coder. The native 7Z file format is open and modular. All file names are stored as Unicode. Top 10 reviews found that the 7Z compression is at least 17% better than zip, and 7zip's own site reports that while compression ratio results are very dependent upon the data used for the tests, usually, 7zip compresses to 7Z format 30–70% better than to zip format, and 7zip compresses to zip format 2–10% better than most other zip-compatible programs. The official 7Z file format specification is distributed with the program's source code, in the doc subdirectory. Others, 7zip supports a number of other compression and non-compression archive formats including 7Z, zip, GZIP, BZIP2, XZ, TAR and WIM. The utility also supports unpacking APM, ARJ, CHM, CPIO, DEB, FLV, JAR, LHALZH, LZMA, MSLZ, Office OpenXML, ONEPKG, RAR, RPM, SMZIP, SWF, XAR and Z archives and CRAMFS, DMG, FAT, HFS, ISO, MBR, NTFS, SquashFS, UDF and VHD disk images. 7zip can open some MSI files, allowing access to the meta files within along with the main contents. Some Microsoft CAB and NSIS installer formats can be opened. Similarly, some Microsoft executable programs which are self-extracting archives or otherwise contain archived content may be opened as archives. When compressing zip or GZIP files, 7zip uses its own deflate encoder, which may achieve higher compression, but at lower speed, than the more common zlib deflate implementation. The 7zip deflate encoder implementation is available separately as part of the Advanced Comp suite of tools. The decompression engine for RAR archives was developed using source code of the UNRAR program. Variants: 2 command line versions are provided, 7ZX, using external libraries, and a standalone executable 7ZARX containing built-in modules. However, 7ZAR's compression-decompression support is limited to 7Z, zip, GZIP, BZIP2, Z and TAR formats. A 64-bit version is available, with support for large memory maps leading to faster compression. All versions support multi-threading. The 7ZARX version of 7zip is available for Unix-like operating systems, FreeDOS, OpenVMS and Amiga OS 4 under the name P7zip, also developed and maintained by Pavlov. Features: 7zip supports the 256-bit AES cipher. Encryption can be enabled for both files and the 7Z directory structure. When the directory structure is encrypted, users are required to supply a password to see the file names contained within the archive. WinZip-developed zip file AES encryption standard is also available in 7-zip to encrypt zip archives with AES 256-bit, but it does not offer file name encryption as in 7Z archives. Volumes of dynamically variable sizes, allowing use for backups and removable media such as writable CDs and DVDs. Usability as a basic orthodox file manager when used in two-panel mode. Multiple core CPU threading settings can be configured. The ability to attempt to open exe files as archives, allowing the decompression of data from inside many setup, or installer, or extract type programs without having to launch them. The ability to unpack archives with corrupted file names, renaming the files as required. The ability to create self-extracting single-volume archives. Command line interface. Graphical user interface. The Windows version comes with its own GUI, however P7-zip uses the GUI of the Unix Linux Archive Manager. Reception. Snappiles.com rates 7-zip 4.5 stars out of 5, noting that its interface and additional features are fairly basic, but the compression ratio is outstanding. On Tech Republic, Justin James found the detailed settings for Windows File Manager integration were appreciated, and called the compression-decompression benchmark utility neat. And though the archive dialog has settings that will confound most users, he concluded, 7-zip fits a nice niche in between the built-in Windows capabilities and the features of the paid products, and it is able to handle a large variety of file formats in the process. The 2011 review of version 9.20 and PC World magazine pointed out that 7-zip can compress and email files in one easy step, and although it offers options that most users should never have to think about, the default settings are just fine. The software has received awards. In 2007, SourceForge.net granted it Community Choice Awards for Technical Design, and for Best Project. In 2013, 7-zip received Tom's Hardware Elite Award due to superiority in speed and compression ratio. See also: Comparison of file archivers, KGB Archiver, FreeArch, references. External links, official website, 7-zip on SourceForge.net, 7zip.net wrapper, 7-zip portable at portableapps.com, 7-zip theme manager.